Hi. Today, let's talk about that strange silence that can be felt even in the most crowded places in the world. You might be surrounded by people, family, friends, a partner. Maybe you're constantly talking, going places. But let's be honest, in the middle of all that noise, do you hear that whisper from the depths of your mind? No one truly understands me. It's as if there is a vast ocean inside of you, but you can only offer a small glass of water to the outside world. You try to explain, you pick your words, you build sentences, but when you look into the other person's eyes, you see it. Your words aren't reaching them. They are just watching you from within their own world. And in that moment, that terrifying feeling of alienation settles in your chest. You ask yourself, am I speaking a different language, or is everyone else just deaf? Today, we're not going to talk about how to be more social or how to express yourself better. Today, we're going to talk about the absolute solitude at the core of being human, why we are all locked inside our own minds, and why not being understood is actually a fundamental part of being alive. If you too feel like there isn't a single person who understands me, come, let's explore the reasons behind this deep loneliness together. Why are we not understood? Because the most advanced tool we have, language, is actually very primitive. Imagine this. You have a memory that contains thousands of different colors, smells, sounds, and emotions, but when you want to tell someone else about it, you only have a limited set of words at your disposal. You're trying to squeeze an ocean through a tiny keyhole. The philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein once said, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." But all of us carry worlds within us that are far larger than the limits of our language. When you tell someone, "I am so sad," that person thinks of the definition of sadness in their own life. But your sadness in that moment is perhaps in a tone they've never known, a pain they've never tasted. So in reality, we aren't talking to each other, we are talking to the fantasies we build based on each other's words. I say something, you pass it through your own filter of experience and interpret it accordingly. The result? Two people are sitting at the same table, but they are actually living in two different universes. Not being understood is not a mistake, it is an inevitable failure of language. Modern world sold us an illusion. If you stay constantly connected, you will never be lonely. Phones, social media, endless messaging. But strangely, in the most connected era in history, we have become the most unseen people in history. Because people no longer see each other, they just watch each other's reflections. A photo you share or a sentence you write doesn't reflect your true depth. It's just a storefront you want people to see. And the painful part is, people look at that storefront and think they know you. Meanwhile, you're waiting in the back of that dim shop for someone to walk in and ask about the real you. The desire to be understood is actually a desire to be seen. We wait for someone to take down our masks and say, "I see you. I know the fear inside you, that quiet joy, that hidden resentment." But everyone is so busy decorating their own storefront that no one has the energy left to look into the back room of someone else's shop. Here we come to a hard truth to accept. Perhaps it is simply impossible for anyone to fully understand us. As the existential psychotherapist Irvin Yalom said, "We are all separate ships burning in a dark sea. We can see the lights of other ships, we can signal them, but we can never enter inside that ship. We are born alone, we die alone, and in fact, we live squeezed between the walls of our own minds. This is existential solitude. Your best friend, your spouse, or your family, they may be your most precious companions on life's journey, but they can never feel that deep silence inside you exactly the way you do. This truth might seem cruel at first. You might ask, if no one will ever fully understand me, why do I even bother? But accepting this truth actually lifts a massive burden off your shoulders. When you stop expecting someone to fully save you or fully figure you out, the bonds you form become more sincere and free of expectations. Is this a life sentence? If no one understands us, will we be lonely forever? No. On the contrary, this situation opens a massive space of freedom for you. If no one can fully understand you, it means no one can fully judge you either. Other people's opinions of you are actually just stories they make up about you. The real you continues to live in that secret garden that only you know. Meaning is not something that comes from someone else validating you. Meaning begins with you making peace with your own inner world. Maybe no one will understand why you love that poem, why you cry while listening to that music, or why you are so fixated on that old memory. And that's okay. This shows that the feeling is a signature unique only to you, specific to your soul. Not being understood is proof of your uniqueness. When you reduce that exhausting effort to make others understand you and spend that energy on understanding yourself, that silence outside no longer scares you. If you feel like a stranger today, know that this doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means your soul is searching for more than what words and people can offer. Perhaps the real point in this life is not to be understood, but to accept that we cannot be understood, and yet still keep reaching out to each other. Even if we can't fully solve each other, we can walk side by side. We can greet each other with the lights of our ships. If you've watched this far, you know that silent scream too. You are not alone, because we are all in this feeling of being misunderstood together. What is the most distinct moment for you when you felt misunderstood? Would you like to share a small piece of yourself that you couldn't explain in the comments? To ask deeper questions and walk together in this solitude, you can subscribe to Why Me. In the next video, we will talk about perhaps the darkest but most transformative side of this loneliness. Until then, don't give up on understanding yourself. You need your own understanding the most. See you soon!